So when I'm multiplying decimal numbers, I'm just going to use my normal multiplication routine, and I'm only going to worry about the decimals at the very end. So my 5.83 times 6.4 can just go right here. 5.83 times 6.4. So I'm not worried right now at all about whether these decimals line up. So that's addition and subtraction we care if they line up. But I don't care in multiplication if they line up. I'm just going to put them here, and I'm going to use my normal multiplication routine. So this 4 in the ones place is going to be multiplied by all this stuff first. So 4 times 3 is 12. So put the 2 from the 1 spot and then carry the 1. 4 times 8 is 32, plus the 1 I carried is 33. So put the 1 in the 1 spot and then carry that. And then 4 times 5 is 20, plus the 3. So I put the 3 down, and there's nothing else to carry, so the 2 just comes on down with it. Okay, now I'm working this 6 in the tens position. So I put this 0 here as a placeholder, and then I know my tens digit starts here. So 6 times 3 is 18. So the 8 goes there, and the 1 will be carried. So 6 times 8 is 48. Plus this 1 is 49, so that 9 will go down there, and the 4 will be carried. And then 6 times 5 is 30, and then plus this 4, so 34. Okay, so I'm ready to add these values now. So 2 and 0 is just 2. 3 and 8 is 11, so there's my 1, and carry the tens there, the 1. And then 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 9 is 13. So I put my 3 down from my 1 spot and then bring up the 1 that I carried. 1 and 2 is 3, plus 4 is 7. And this time I don't have to carry anything because 7 is not more than 9, so just the 3 comes down. Okay, so I've gone through and I've done my normal multiplication routine, and I see that I have 3, 7, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so at the end is the only time that you care about the decimal points. So I have an 8 at the decimal digit, and I have a 3 at the decimal digit. So because we count the digits behind the decimal. So here's 1, and here's 2, and then in my 6.4 I have 1 decimal digit, so there's 1 there. So in both of these numbers that I'm multiplying together, I have some decimal digits. I have an 8 and a 3 on this one, and just a 4 on this one. So how many decimal digits do I have in all? Well, I have 1, 2, and then 1 more makes 3. So since we have 3 digits that are behind the decimal, I need to count 3 digits from the back and go 1, 2, 3, and put my decimal place right there. So the answer to 5.83 times 6.4 is going to be 37.312. My decimal place is going to go right there. A good way that you can kind of check yourself to make sure this works out is that 5 times 6, if we just kind of estimate here, is going to be in the 30s. So 37, that works. You know, as opposed to saying that we had like 5 times 6 is 30 and then having my decimal point over here and saying 373. Well, something in my 30s is nowhere near 373, so if I had my decimal point there, I know that it would be in the wrong place. So this 5 times the 6 is going to be 30, so I know that I have it in the right place. So remember that your decimal multiplication is just going to be your normal multiplication routine, and you only care about the decimal points at the very end when you're going to count from the back 1, 2, 3 spaces, or however many decimal digits that you have in your problem. Let's do one more decimal multiplication problem. So we have 20.1 times 0.06. Okay, so I'm going to set up my normal multiplication routine and times 0.06. And again, notice our decimals don't line up, but in multiplication that's not important. So let's multiply through the 6. So 6 times the 1 is 6. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 2 is 12. And the rest of these digits down here is zeros, so I think we're done. So where do we put the decimal point? Well, let's count up all of our decimal digits. We have 1 here, so there's 1 digit after the decimal place. And here it looks like we have 2 digits after the decimal place. So 1, 2, 3 total. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 total, and it'll go right there. So what do I actually have for a product? Well, 1.206 is going to be my product. So remember, in order to know where to put the decimal place, you can just count how many decimal digits you have in each one of these factors, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to count backwards, 1, 2, 3. So there's your decimal multiplication.